Hello and welcome to Taming the Evolution of Cypher, What Cypher Versions Mean for You, presented by Lamont. Over to you.
Perfect, thank you. My name is Jim, and I'm a Cypher engineer here at Neo4j, where I've been working for the past 3.5 years. And we're going to walk through the new way of handling Cypher. So today on the agenda, I'm going to walk you through what the problem we've had with Cypher versions, and then how we fix it with, hint, hint, Cypher versions. And then I'll walk you a bit through the differences between Cypher 5 and our newest version, Cypher 25, as well as how to actually use Cypher versions. And then I'll finish it off with some new features. And if we have time, I'll answer some questions. So what was the problem? So we had a bit of a Cypher catch-22. So for every major version, we may be breaking existing queries. And this is because we'd be introducing breaking changes when we update the Cypher version. And you might think, well, why don't you just not do any breaking changes? Well, unfortunately, Cypher is still quite a young language. And in order to evolve, being able to add, there are some new features we want to add. We want to become more GQL compliant. And in order to do this, we have to introduce breaking changes. So what we've done is from the 2025.06 release, reintroduced Cypher versions. So what this means is that Cypher versions is now completely decoupled from the server version. So from this release, we still have Cypher 5, which is our stable LTS version that you all know and love. And we've also introduced Cypher 25, and this is our new evolving version. So Cypher 5, it is our stable version, and what this means is that there'll be no new features added here. It'll stay the same, frozen in time. This also means that there are no breaking changes, but if there were to be a language change, it'd be well thought through and only because of like a serious bug fix. There'll be continuous security patches as normal, and a little bit different here from our normal LTSs. So because Cypher versions is only on the surface level of Cypher, we're continuously updating how the planner works and how the runtime works. So this means that Cypher 5 may actually also gain some performance improvements. So that's a nice little feature there. Our other version is Cypher 25. So Cypher 25 is our evolving version, and this is where all of our new features will come in. So every month we release a new version of the database, and Cypher is wrapped in there with new features. At the point of release, this is where we had all of our breaking changes. So this is between Cypher 5 and Cypher 25, and I highly recommend that if you're updating to Cypher 25 to look at our documentation to see what those breaking changes were. However, since that release date, there will be no more breaking changes within Cypher 25. You may see deprecations appearing, and this is just warning you that when we release a new version of Cypher, there may be breaking changes happening there, but don't worry about it. If there's a deprecation, it won't be changing within that version. And because Cypher versions will continue, what this will mean is that even when we release the new Cypher version, you'll be able to continue using Cypher 25. So I'll jump into how you can use Cypher versions. So every database and a DBMS has a default Cypher version. If you don't specify which version to run your query on, then it's this default version that is used. So this is set up on database create. You can either explicitly say which Cypher version you want your database created with. And if you don't do that, there's a config item called db.query.default language, and it is this one that is used. At any point in time, you can also alter your database to change the default Cypher version. And for all of you Aura users out there, this is actually available on all tiers of Aura. We don't normally allow alter database, but this one's a bit of a special one, so you'll be able to do that there. And at any point in time, you can also prefix your individual queries with either Cypher 5 or Cypher 25. So I'll walk you through a little bit of an example of how this works. So if I want to check what language my database is set to, I can use the show database command. as you can see here, I have my Neo4j database, and the default language is set to Cypher 5. So if I want to see what other Cypher versions are available, there's a procedure called dbms.components. And as you can see here, I'm just filtering on Cypher so we don't get all the other rows. But you can see here that my database has both Cypher 5 and Cypher 25 available. So now I'm like, oh great, I have Cypher 25 on my database. Go to the docs, and I want to try out one of our newest features. So I'm like, about a week ago, we released the new vector type, which is very exciting. And I want to try it out on my database. And as you can see here, it didn't work. And that's because my database is set to Cypher 5. And we have introduced something which can be a nice thing for errors. So if you try out a Cypher 25 feature, which we can know at the pass level is Cypher 25, then the error you get back will say that it's only valid in Cypher 25 and you've been running in Cypher 5. This won't work for all cases. There are some examples where it's further down in the stack, so you can't rely on this error to tell you in all cases, but it's quite a nice one if you've just done a bit of a mistake. So I follow the error code and I prefix my query with Cypher 25. And as you can see, I can now use the new vector type and all's good. But yeah, let's say I want to use vectors for everything. So I can alter my database and set the default language to Cypher 25. And yeah, as you can see here, if I was to show databases again, then my default language would be set to Cypher 25. And yeah, if I show my example again of returning a vector type, I can now do it without the prefix. So yeah, that's a quick how-to. And then just to highlight some of our newest features in Cypher. So I've already said we've recently released the new vector type. We also have one of my favorite features is conditional expressions. As you can see on the right-hand side here, this is our case, when, else, end kind of syntax. So this is going to remind you of how our case expressions work. But being a conditional expression, it allows you to actually do a bit more kind of if-else kind of query flow as you would in other programming languages. For all of you kind of APOC fans out there, this will be actually replacing the apoc.doWhen and apoc.casewhen procedures. We also have a whole bunch of new kind of syntax and keywords available. I've only highlighted one here, which is the new next keyword. And this allows you to kind of clean up your queries a bit. So as you can see on the bottom right hand of the corner, I have a bit of a toy example, so only return statements to fit onto the slide. But yeah, I'm returning from a query and then I'm piping it in using my next into the query below. And then, yeah, we have a whole lot of new functions, trigonometric functions. We have a new format function, which is quite nice. So this is for temporal types. So the format function allows you to print your temporal types as strings, but you can pass in your own pattern. And we also have the opposite of this. For all the temporal types, you'll also be able to pass in a string representing your temporal type and say which pattern is available. We have the new or reduce function. And yeah, I mean, I could go on, but we also have a bunch of new stuff coming soon. So just keep an eye out on the docs. And this is our monthly releases. And remember to use Cypher 25 to gain access to them. But yeah, so basically, in conclusion, we have Cypher 5. This is our stable, this is our long-lived Cypher version. But we also have Cypher 25. This is where our evolution and innovation is. It is also stable. There are no more breaking changes, so feel safe and happy to use that. And yeah, it's now you. You're in control of Cypher versioning. It's decoupled from server upgrades. And if you want to check if your database has this available, you can use the core dbns.components procedure as I showed earlier on. And yeah, my call to action for you today is to try adding Cypher 25 as a prefix to one of your new queries. Or even if you're feeling lucky, you can alter your entire database to set Cypher 25 as the default. So That's all I have today, but we have some time left over for a bit of a Q&A. So I can check out on here if we have any questions. So feel free to write if you have anything. Yeah, otherwise, thank you very much for coming and watching my talk. And I hope that you want to start using Cypher 25.